In a recent interview, Taiwanese Foreign Minister Joseph Wu expressed concerns over China's aggressive actions and drew parallels to the lead-up to the Second World War. Wu cautioned that China might be repeating the mistakes of history and emphasized the need for caution. He also acknowledged the possibility of a situation where China pushes the conflict too far, inadvertently sparking a full-scale war. Taiwan, an independent island nation also known as the Republic of China, has long been in conflict with the People's Republic of China, which claims sovereignty over Taiwan and the Taiwan Strait. Despite Taiwan's smaller infrastructure and military capabilities compared to its mainland neighbor, Wu drew inspiration from the resilience and determination of Ukrainian soldiers in defending their territory and sovereignty. The United States, while not having official relations with Taiwan, has increased its engagement with the island. However, Secretary of State Antony Blinken's recent trip to China has raised questions about the extent of U.S. commitment to Taiwan. Blinken emphasized that the U.S. does not support Taiwan independence and expects a peaceful resolution of cross-strait differences, while ensuring Taiwan's ability to defend itself under the Taiwan Relations Act. The situation between China and Taiwan remains tense, and Taiwan is closely watching China's actions and their potential impact on regional stability. According to former Treasury Department official Brad Setzer, China is concealing approximately $3 trillion in shadow reserves, which are not reflected in its official foreign exchange reserves. These shadow reserves consist of funds held in state commercial and policy banks. Setzer argues that this hidden portion of China's currency reserves poses unknown risks to the global economy. While China's State Administration of Foreign Exchange reported $3.12 trillion in foreign assets in December of the previous year, Setzer estimates the actual reserves to be around $6 trillion. The lack of transparency in China's management of its currency and foreign exchange reserves raises concerns about potential risks for the global economy. One notable indicator is the sudden halt in reported activity regarding China's reserves. From 2002 to 2012, China's reserves steadily increased as the central bank purchased U.S. dollar assets to prevent the appreciation of the yuan, which helped maintain low export prices. However, over the past decade, China's reserves have ceased to rise, despite its growing trade surplus, which currently sits at a record high. Setzer suggests that China's state banking system, including state commercial and policy banks, is the main mechanism used to hide these reserves. Such banks are not subject to the same regulatory oversight as traditional banks, allowing China to keep these reserves off the official balance sheet of the People's Bank of China. The lack of transparency surrounding China's reserves is seen as problematic for the global economy, given the significant influence of China's economic and currency management on the world stage. The enormous size of China's reserves carries substantial weight in financial markets and represents a potential risk. Setzer points out that China's previous accumulation of U.S. treasuries and agency bonds played a role in the 2008 financial crisis by pushing investors toward riskier mortgage-backed securities. China's lack of transparency and the undisclosed portion of its reserves raise concerns about the broader implications for the global economy. As China continues to play a central role in the global economic landscape, both its visible and unseen actions are expected to have a significant impact on the rest of the world. China's revised anti-espionage law, which has recently come into effect, is raising concerns for individuals and companies as it expands the definition of espionage, granting Beijing more authority to punish perceived threats to national security. Experts, analysts, and the U.S. government have criticized the revisions, highlighting their ambiguity and potential for further empowering authorities to enforce already opaque national security legislation. The U.S. National Counterintelligence and Security Center, NCSC, warns that the new law provides broader legal grounds for Beijing to access and control data held by U.S. firms in China. The law's definition of national security secrets is considered vague, and there are concerns that it could encompass information that businesses typically use in their regular operations. U.S. companies and individuals may face penalties for what are considered traditional business activities if Chinese authorities label them as espionage or claim their involvement in foreign sanctions against China, according to the NCSC advisory notice. The revised law, which was publicly released for comment in December 2022 and formally approved by China's top legislative body in April, already imposes severe punishments for those involved in alleged espionage, including life imprisonment and even execution in extreme cases. The updated provisions consider reliance on espionage organizations and their agents, as well as unauthorized acquisition of documents, data, materials, and items related to national security and interests, as spying offenses. While China's embassy in Washington asserts Beijing's right to safeguard national security through domestic legislation and promises a more law-based and international business environment, experts caution that the broad nature of the changes could ensnare individuals with tenuous links to organizations accused of espionage. The business community is particularly concerned, fearing increased scrutiny and the potential characterization of routine business activities as espionage. The vague definitions within the law provide authorities with a wider scope, likely creating a chilling effect on Chinese citizens who interact with foreigners and foreign organizations. The revisions have drawn criticism from diplomatic officials in several countries, who are urging their citizens in China to exercise vigilance. The U.S. State Department notes that the law greatly expands the scope of activities considered espionage by Beijing. U.S. spokesperson Vedant Patel pledges continued advocacy for human rights and the rule of law, emphasizing the need for accountability in light of China's repressive actions. The impact on confidence in China's market is anticipated to be negative if the law is frequently applied without a clear, narrow, and direct link to universally recognized espionage activities. Defense Analysis Weekly is committed to bringing you thought-provoking analysis and insights on the latest developments in defense and international security. We are passionate about providing engaging content that goes beyond the headlines, offering a deeper understanding of the complex issues shaping our world. To stay updated and never miss an episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We value your feedback and ideas, so please leave your comments and suggestions down below. And until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay vigilant.